hurt the Aftershocks because depth was one of their things. And they lost it. And they had two smaller guards having to defend bigger people, and it just didn't work out, especially down the stretch, is what I will say. And the fact that turned the ball over 16 times in the game. Really bad. Let's go check in on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotline. Welcome. You're in the zone.
It was like watching an MFA fight. my grandson had popcorn. He was handing me popcorn. I was eating it. I said, "Man, this is crazy." But I mean, both of those benches get kicked off the court. I mean, it's the dynamic of the game. Because at the end of the game, when they declared the 64 was the magic number, both teams couldn't hit a shot. Their legs were just noodles.
Can't argue with you there.
Yeah, were you there, Phil?
No, I didn't go. Because I'm a little bit superstitious. And I went to one game this year. They lost it. The two I didn't go to, they won. So I thought, hey, I won't go. Maybe that'll help, but it didn't. It didn't matter. It just, it was poor shooting. Turnovers killed them. 16 turnovers in the game, and you can't make those type of mistakes and expect to win.
Well, they were throwing the ball around so fast. I mean, I'm thinking, man, I felt like a bobblehead doll. My head was just going back and forth, and it was fun to watch. I thought it was an entertaining game. When KU scored, the crowd erupted. When WSU scored, they really erupted. It was, for the money, it was fun. Other than buying 2 large Cokes and it cost me $16. I can't complain. Can you believe that? I mean, no telling what I spent on popcorn and pretzels. Oh, God.
Well, it is what it is these days with concessions. It's crazy everywhere. So, best thing I can tell you is load up before you go into the arenas. That's the way it should work.
People lined up, they were buying alcoholic beverages, and then afterwards, Phil, do you think there'll be ramifications from that through that haymaker? Do you think they'll get kicked out of future games?
I don't know. You have to wait and see. You could do some things. I mean, the question's going to be is, as the KU group moves forward, will there be anything that comes from that? So, we'll see. All I can tell you is that it was not a pretty game to watch, at least on TV anyway. And then, all the crazy stuff that happened both in the game and after the game. That there's no place for that.
I personally saw that the WSU players started barking at each other when they were making, stupid fouls or passing the ball. There's several times they threw the ball and they just threw it to air. They threw it out of bounds. And I could tell that they were trying to speed up the game, and they wasn't on the same page. But once again, I don't know what the attendance was. It wasn't a sellout, but I tell you what, there was a bunch of people there.
Well, I heard it was somewhere over 7,000 is what I heard, and I don't know how accurate that is. They don't announce the attendance figure, They actually finally did here, 7,046. So
So what is this? Oh,
3,500 short of capacity.
well, I guarantee it, they were all very top row because what I saw, it was. I mean, I got to admit, I thought it was entertaining because for the longest time, it was a 1-point, 2-point game.
Sure. I think from that part of it was, but just how poorly the Aftershocks played with handling. And I thought there were some other adjustments that could have been made offensively that were never made. So, and I'm sure James and I will get into that here.
Can you imagine after that game when you lose a chance at $2 million? What does the coach say to the players? Because who's to say how that game would have turned out? Who had the stronger bench? I mean, I couldn't tell you that.
Yeah.
It looked to me like KU had the better starting five, more athletic. But there again, I don't know.
Well, it's just disappointing that was what took place and left both teams with just 6 players at the end.
Did it make national news?
I don't know if it made national news or not, but, I haven't watched the news this morning, so I have no idea.
I bet it did because it's kind of a slow news cycle right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, Phil, everything going good? Are you doing all right?
Yep, no complaints. As soon as it cools down a little bit, we'll have to get on the golf course.
All right, buddy.
Sounds
Hey,
good. Appreciate the call. See you, Rick. There he goes, old Rick. James, your thoughts? You haven't had a chance to speak yet.
I mean, it was a physical game. Obviously, never want to see the scuffles happen that happened, but these guys are all playing for $2 million. So I mean, they're going to come at you with a little bit of fire.
Sure.
I don't think it was the same set of refs.
No, it wasn't. 3 different guys.
So that was my first conclusion. Like, it's the same refs from the previous 2 games, and so they just continued to do what they were doing. But then I had to quickly switch up, and it was just an emotional game. I mean, we all knew that was going to be the case as soon as we won that game on Friday, that this was going to be a monumental game for both sides, and it didn't shy away from that at all. But it obviously could have happened without all the extracurriculars. Obviously, I know that there's going to be some fans out there that say that's what made the game, that's what made the environment. But when it bleeds into the fans, I think that's kind of where you have to draw the line.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that it had to go down that path, but at the end of the day, I mean, no serious injuries happened. I know a couple of people got dinged up and some people had some blood spewing, but I mean, there was no serious. It's not like someone got sent to a coma, right? So I mean, let's just be thankful that it didn't escalate even further than that. But I really felt like that the TBT could have done a much better job on reading the atmosphere,
right?
And like, I know that they have police officers there, but come on, guys, you got to call for more backup at that point. I mean, you just saw what happened in the first half, and tensions never really went away.
No.
They only went away because there was nobody left on the bench to replace you. And that was, I think, why it kind of got toned down a little bit. But the high emotions were still there all throughout the game. That never went away. And it just seemed like it was a very uneasy environment. And I felt like the TBT could have done a much better job at policing it and making sure that, once it did get settled down, that it wasn't going to, spike back up. So like I said, when I've usually gone, there's maybe like a couple of officers there, a couple cars, but
sure.
I felt like after that scuffle in the first half, that was ample time to call back up and be like, look, we may be in a situation where something might happen after the game, not just on the floor, but up top too. I mean, we don't know, but why not just be over precautious with that? I mean, I think I remember last year at the championship game, there were, the green suit guys or the red suit guy or whoever it is, but there was the ushers. There was like 10 of them, all spread out throughout the court. And I remember that last year. I'm like, wow, this is a high-profile game. I understand that this may not have been as deep in the tournament as when that happened last year, but, I mean, you got to be able to control an environment, because if you don't, stuff like that happens and it gets out of hand.
Agreed. Let's go back to the phone lines. Not there. Let's try this one. Not there. Okay. Sorry, folks.
Try it again.
Park's not closed. It's open. Let's try one more time.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, welcome. You're in the zone.
It's Dev. What's going on?
Hi, Dev.
You guys talking the debacle last night,
Talking
or
about
what?
the
Yeah,
UFC
that's
fight.
been the opening part of it, yes.
Holy moly!
Devin, were
well,
you there?
What? Oh my gosh! Of course I was.
Were you in the middle of
What?
some fights?
James, that was. I don't even know what to even feel
He
or
was.
think. We have got to do better from a standpoint of officiating. I kind of talked about this earlier in the game plan, but golly, we let that get out of control. And I understand. I mean, we got to understand that these people, they were playing for $2 million. I mean, it's not like this is a little pickup game. And we got to do better at officiating. Like, this should have been nipped in the bud. The foul should have been called ahead of time, and then, oh my gosh, the whole thing was terrible. I mean, there was 2 fights just in the stadium right next to me. I mean, you got fans swinging on the players. What are we doing? That was embarrassing, in my opinion. But with all that being said, I feel like that might be the last time we see the aftershocks. What's your thoughts?
It kind of felt that way, especially with the downsides of the amount of teams and this year compared to last year. You kind of already had that feeling heading into this tournament. And I know they tried to mask it with, let's have 2 separate brackets and kind of, point that out as being like the big change. But really, there's less teams this year. There's less teams.
Right.
And that to me kind of was a small indicator that maybe this isn't going to be around forever. And so I don't know if the Aftershocks, maybe knew something that we don't, but it kind of did feel like that a little bit. That this very well could have been the last time.
Well, could you also feel like we could do better as officiating? I mean, the last altercation between Preston and Wade, I mean, Preston should have been ejected. He threw a punch, didn't get ejected, just got the technical. I mean, we didn't do a well enough job on that. And then Hannah and Keene were barking at each other the last 3 minutes, and that's what caused the last altercation. We're not doing a good job at seeing these and officiating, especially when we knew this was going to be a toxic game. I mean, this has been built up for 5 years now, where we've almost been matched up against them, and something happens where one of us doesn't, get there, or something happens, then we finally get the game and we got, minimum security. I mean, I've seen more cops at,
NBC.
one of the Sky Wizard games. Yeah, or the NBC game than we did last night. I mean, there needs to be more cops there. There needed to be understanding that, tensions are going to get high. We need to make calls early, which we didn't. And, people are chirping, and that's what happens. I mean, Mario has a tendency to get under people's skin. I mean, you saw when he played with LeBron. His whole career, that's what he does. And that's what started everything, him and Richard. And it got out of control. We didn't nip it in the bud, and it just went on and on and on, and we just kept plowing it. Got to do better as officiating to understand that could have been a way better game, especially just ejecting all those players. I mean, everybody cleared the bench. It was wild. I mean, got to do better from a coaching standpoint, too. Hey, guys, this is going to be a chippy game. If things are going to get hot, you need to keep your head, because, we just blew our chance now at $2 million, because, let's be honest, that was the Aftershocks' advantage, was their bench. I mean, nobody has a bench in the TBT besides the Aftershocks, let's be honest. So that killed them. I mean, in my opinion, I think the starting six players that KU was left was better than our 6. And we lost our cool at the end. So,
Yeah, I won't disagree in the fact that we were left with two of our two smallest guards, in Frankamp and Keene, with really only one ball handler because Rashard Kelly was also a guy that would bring the ball up the floor. That, defensively, I thought they exploited that really well, of getting the ball out of Keene's hands, and he made enough bad passes. He wasn't alone, but 20 turnovers in a basketball game isn't going to get it done.
Nope. And a lot of those, too, were bad passes at the very end. And
yes.
It's because we lost our cool because of the chirping and the no calls and the, kind of dirty plays where the refs weren't seeing. I mean, it was just going on everywhere. And I don't know who that fan is that swung on Preston, but he better get some charges pressed on that old guy. What the hell are we doing?
I'm sure there's going to be people. There are going to be people looking into stuff, And you were right. I don't understand why Preston wasn't ejected because he did throw a punch at Wade.
He threw two of them. The first one didn't land.
And,
I mean, that right there could have nipped a lot in the butt with him getting ejected, KU going down to 5. And, I mean, there was still 3 minutes before the 4-minute Elam ending started. It was just terrible officiating. I mean, that's the same crew that officiated, minus the girl, that officiated the New Mexico series, and that was absolutely the worst officiating crew I've ever seen. So I don't know. I just feel like we got to do better if we're going to have this kind of, environment. We got to do better as an officiating crew because the refs are never held accountable in any situation. And it's getting to the point where it's frustrating. Why aren't the refs ever held accountable? Like they didn't do anything wrong?
Well, I'll throw my 2 cents in about that here as we move along.
All right, well, I've vented enough. You guys have a good day. Drink some more water.
See you, Dip. There he goes. All right, 522-1410 is the number. Maybe I need to save that vent for when I'm by myself about the officials. But I don't think it's alone in just our games. And I will correct, there might have been one of the previous 3 officials that was in this game, but there were at least 2 different ones than what we had the final 2 games with the Enchantment. I do know that. Could have been one of the same. I don't know. They didn't pay that close of attention as to how they looked.
Well, they didn't have the names on the scoreboard yesterday or on the box score. They did for the Enchantment series.
Right, but nothing here. I'll just say this overall. I've watched some of the other games. It's not alone.
So this is a TBT problem.
Yes, this is a TBT problem. This is the fact that it becomes a wrestling match out there. And, of course, Devin's right about Chalmers. He's just that type of individual. And on that play, I don't know if you noticed, and I don't know if they have the hook and hold rule. They should in the TBT. Chalmers had Kelly's arm hooked. And when Kelly tried to push him off, he just kept pulling on him. And I'm not saying Kelly was right in what he did, but there should have been a hook and hold call on that, and there wasn't. And if we're going by college rules, we have that. And I believe they have that in the FIBA rules as well. And that wasn't called. But there were probably 1,000 other things that weren't called in this game. And the one thing I will say that the KU group did well is that when we were using our big man, Santos Silva, to try to screen up top, they just double-teamed Keene and forced him to throw it to Silva, and sometimes he threw it away a couple times. A couple times it just throws you. You have to change up who's coming up the screen for Keene. You have to make it either become a switch and having somebody with more mobility to set the screen and move. And we never changed that in the second half. And I thought that was part of the problem offensively for the Aftershocks as well. Just one man's opinion. So, James, you got about 30 seconds. Anything you want to add?
Can't even say better luck next year because
we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. That's a good way to look at it. Okay. Time to get to break number one. We'll do that. And I'll come back. Take your phone calls at 316-522-1410. A lot of craziness after the game as well when In the Zone returns.
This portion of In the Zone is brought to you by Kansas One Call. Call Kansas One Call at 811 before you dig.
Get in the zone, on KGSO.
KGSO is back with the second annual SC Wichita Cares for Kids, coming up August 27th and 28th. Join Wichita's sports station as we support the Children's Miracle Network. Hear their powerful stories and help support our children in Wichita. It's the second annual SC Wichita Cares for Kids, August 27th and 28th. And it's brought to you by
Truck Stuff, Jewelry Savers, Davis Liquor Outlet, the Wichita Technical Institute, the Sugar Shack, and Wichita Sports Station KGSO.
10 days, 35 games, 16 teams from across the country. All of it comes down to one night, Saturday, August 1st. Downtown Wichita, Equity Bank Park. Championship night presented by Kansas 811. Crowns the 92nd NBC World Series champion. The best amateur baseball players in America right here under the lights. And when it's over, Black Hills Energy and Victory Pyrotechnics light up the Wichita sky. This is what summers are made of. Tickets at NBCBaseball.com.
The 92nd NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
America is turning 250, and we're celebrating all month long at Midwest Kia. Join us for our Stars, Stripes, and Savings Sales event, where we're honoring America's 250th birthday with incredible savings throughout July. Celebrate extra savings on every new Kia that's built right here in America, including the award-winning Sportage, Sorento, Telluride, hybrid models, and the electrified EV6 and EV9 models. And no birthday party is complete without a present. This July, purchase any new or pre-owned vehicle and get a $250 gas gift card. It's our way of helping you enjoy the summer road ahead. Plus, every new Kia comes with that unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. But hurry, this special Independence Day offer and the $250 gas gift card won't last forever. Visit MidwestKia.com. And remember,
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
see dealer for details. Offer ends July 31st. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty.
When you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And there's no one that knows that feeling like Derby Allstate agent Mark May, because he works every day to get people like you the coverage they need with the savings they deserve. Contact him for your free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Hey, Phil Stevenson here, and when I need to get in the zone to watch the big game, I head over to Dino's Grill and Tap Works at 21st and Webb Road in Cambridge Market. It's the place to watch all the big games, with TVs everywhere, a great selection of ice-cold beer on tap, and the best happy hour in town from 3 to 6 daily, and all day Mondays and Thursdays. That's half-price wells, martinis, and the perfect margaritas. And oh man, the food is awesome, with something for everyone, from great apps and salads to ribs and steaks to homemade pizza. Check out a game at Dino's at 21st and Webb.
Wichita's sports leader, KGSO, is brought to you by Devon Jaimes. Devon Jaimes Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
This is Wichita's sports station, KGSO. Locally owned, locally proud.
Kind of felt like everything rocked like a hurricane yesterday in Coke Arena. The Aftershocks lose 64-59 and are eliminated from the TBT tournament. They will not be repeat champions for this coming year. Back to the Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotline we go. Welcome. You're in the zone.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Phil.
Hi, Terry. How are you?
Pretty good. Hey, talking about the officials there, I kind of worked a little bit yesterday, so I only was able to catch the second half just at home on TV of the Aftershocks and the
Right.
KU team. But I happened to catch portions of all three games of the series between K-State and KU and TBT.
Right.
And I swear about every time there was a stoppage in play, Michael Beasley was jawing at any official he could find.
Oh, yes.
And I don't think they ever teed the guy up that I'm aware of.
Never did.
So there's a lot of problems there, yeah. I thought that was atrocious. They just let him get away with just acting like a ranting
he not
child.
only was chirping at the officials, he was chirping at the other players. He was a nonstop aggravant. Let me just say that with him. And that's no surprise. That's how he is and everything that goes with that. So, okay, that's fine. We move on. But I've watched some of the games in this tournament, and it's what I call it's NBA style play. It's grabbing, holding, clutching, pushing, shoving. And it's more noticeable in games like this because the players aren't as skilled as what you see in the NBA.
Right.
And, when you have this type of a situation, now, granted, you don't want whistles the entire time. But in turn, you had officials making calls out of position. And I know this because I taught an officiating class. I officiated three-man crews. And I've never seen so many calls with the officials being screened. Everything's happening in front of another official, and the other official from behind makes the call. Especially with secondary defenders, where that is I know who the primary official is. I also know what the second defender who has that as an official. That so many fouls were not called by the secondary official on the secondary defender in these games. And I'm getting a little too technical for a lot of people, and I get that. But I watched officials behind the play who had no way of seeing what was going on make calls. This was bad officiating, not just yesterday, but in what I've seen in the entire tournament. Where they found these officials, I have no idea. I don't know if they're G League officials. I don't know if they're college officials. Maybe they don't pay well, so they don't get better officials. I have no idea. But what I can tell you is they let so many of those games become just knockdown dragouts. And that's what happened yesterday.
Yeah. And personally, I guess just being an older guy, I personally hate that. I hated it when players came in. Even to me, college ball is getting way too rough.
Oh, yes.
I would rather see a player play off, have success off of their skill level and what they've practiced, dribbling, shooting, passing, defense, as I put push and shove. to me, that takes away from basketball. That's one thing that kind of turned me off in the NBA. By the time we got to the Bad Boys of Detroit, and Michael Jordan was getting beat up, that kind of play kind of turned me off. I still enjoyed basketball in the 80s with Showtime and the Celtics rivalry and, that kind of thing. But just that's what turned me off to the NBA back in those days, was just all that pushing and shoving and grabbing and but maybe it's just the era you and I in a way grew up in.
Some of it is, and the other part of it is that that's what basketball has become, unfortunately. And you've got these situations to where, in some cases, where maybe guys are a step slower than they used to be, so they get away with being more physical on whoever they're guarding. And, I think a lot of it has to do with what's going on away from the ball, not just all the physical stuff with guys on the ball. It's also away from the ball. And, they know you're not going to call every foul, so they're going to do whatever they can to get away with till they get a foul called, and then they might change some things a little bit as to how they're defending or what they're doing on the offensive side and that sort of thing. And like I said, there were calls that were made with the official who had no way of seeing what was going on, zero way of seeing what was going on. Players with their backs to this official, and they're the ones blowing the whistle. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And I don't know who.
They're probably going to have to shore that up.
I don't know who relegates that with the TBT. I don't know if they have officials meetings after games. I don't know if they go over video. I don't know what they do. But what I've noticed is that in the games that I've watched, officiating is not good. And I don't know what their rules and regulations are of what they're going to let go and what they're not, but either way, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch, and it bled over last night into some craziness.
Yeah, boy, it did.
And then after the game, you got players chirping on both sides. Zeke Mayo was acting like an absolute idiot. And I know, Keene and Dana were just sitting there going back and forth the entire game. And finally it just, team.
What happened just quickly, and I don't mean to take up too much of your time.
No. What happened was that they were trying to get
after the
that
game?
Was during the
was that a fan on fan?
No. That was during the first fight that there was a guy that had a hold of, I think, Preston from KU, a Shocker fan on the front row.
Oh,
and
he
got his hands on the guy, and I have a feeling there'll be something that comes from that as well. With that can't happen. Now, if a player goes into the stands, that's a different story.
Oh yeah,
but a fan reaching onto the floor to grab a hold of a player or do something to them can't happen. It's that simple. It cannot happen. And I'm with James. After the first fight, how was there not more of a police presence there? Somebody make a call and say, hey, we're going to need about a dozen more officers down here. This is going to get out of hand. So, but they didn't do it. And what happened is that I don't know who it was with KU along with Mayo who's yelling and screaming, and they're trying to pull Shocker guys back. They're trying to push these guys back. And Keene came along and just basically cross-checked Dana, who then threw his arm out and hit the girl that was on the bench with the Jayhawks hoops, and apparently broke her nose.
Oh, wow.
He hit her almost like he punched her.
That was the broken nose. Okay, that's the part I did not catch. Yeah,
right. That's what was.
Happened with that. So that's too bad for her.
Yes, I agree. And she was kind of an innocent bystander in the whole deal, which is unfortunate. And, that wasn't necessary by Marcus Keene, and I'm sure that'll draw some ire for a lot of things. But it also didn't help that, after the game in the post-game press conference, apparently the KU coach, I'm not even sure of his name, blamed us for
Ron
everything.
Collins?
Yeah, blamed us for everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to hurt the image. Hopefully it doesn't, but hurt the image of, do we have TBT games in Wichita?
But it was just
between those teams.
It was just as much what the KU players were doing after the game as it was anything else. And then, of course, they exit the floor, flipping the fans off and all that stuff. And that's not called for. And, that if that's your way of communicating, what a poor way of communicating. So that's what I'll say. Privately, off the record, I could probably go into a lot more stuff of what I saw.
Did you guys end up going to the game?
I didn't go to the game, just what I saw on videos and TV and what have you. I'm actually, because of how poor the game was played, poorly it was played, glad I didn't waste my money and go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was pretty poorly played.
It was poorly played.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, didn't mean to take up all your time there.
Yeah, you did
but
fine, Terry. Appreciate it.
That Michael Beasley thing really got to me. I thought, is anybody ever going to give this guy a technical foul in this game? But I don't think they did.
Well, let's just hope we don't have to watch him anymore. How about that?
Okay, take care.
See you, Terry. All right. 522-1410 is the number. The Diamond Highlight Zone is next. Stay with us.
This portion of In the Zone is brought to you by Kansas One Call. Call Kansas One Call at 811 before you dig.
Get in the zone, on KGSO.
Want to hear more of KGSO? Don't forget to download our app today. Fill out weekly surveys, register to win great prizes, listen live, message our shows, and so much more. Plus, get reminders of special programming and games you don't want to miss. Just find SC Wichita in your app store and make KGSO your new favorite app. It's Wichita's Sports Talk, right on your phone. Download the SC Wichita app today with Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Are you looking for a better healthcare experience this summer? Kingman Healthcare Center is a full-service hospital with a 24/7 emergency room with little to no wait times. Our clinics offer same-day appointments and convenient scheduling for your annual checkups. Don't wait. Make your health a top priority and schedule your appointment today. You won't regret the short drive without the big city traffic. Exceptional care every time. To learn more, visit our website, kingmanhc.com.
We aren't like other stations. We're the best. This is Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
This is how I feel this morning. James has got me under pressure because he thinks I'm not ready for the start of the Diamond Highlight Zone. We recap 5 games each from yesterday's action in Major League Baseball. And as always, James will start us off.
All right, number 5, Orioles over the Tigers 8-5. The Orioles led 4-3 entering the 5th, and Phil, it was a bunch of ground outs, sac flies, RBI singles, non-exciting ways to score up until that point. And then Leody Taveras had a solo home run. He was 1 for 5. Kobe Mayo had a 2-run home run. He was 2 for 4. And then in the bottom of the 5th, Tigers had a sac fly and an RBI single. Then in the top of the 6th, Tyler O'Neill with a solo home run. I don't think that was his first pinch hit at bat, but if it was a pinch hit home run. He had 2 at bats in the game. 23 hits, 13 strikeouts total. You're kind of a game, Phil. 8-5.
Okay. This was even more my type of game, just the wrong team winning. The Mets hammer the Braves 14-3. Francisco Lindor, 3 for 5, 2 home runs and a triple, 6 RBIs. First time that's happened since 2006 that a player's had 2 home runs and a triple in the same game.
Wow.
With 6 RBIs, yeah. 3 hits for Bo Bichette, 3 hits for, oh, come on, tell me who it is. Tyrone Taylor. He had 3 hits, had 3 RBIs in this game. Simeon had a home run. He was 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Oscar Albies was the only guy for the Braves to do anything. 2 hits and 4 at-bats, a home run, 3 RBIs. That was their only 3 runs, by the way. 3-3 going to the bottom of the 6th, where the Mets went 2-4-5. And one guy suffered it. Pitcher by the name of Connor Thomas. He got left out there for 2 2/3, 10 hits, 11 runs, all earned, 5 walks, and only 2 Ks.
Yeah, it was the Mets announcers that I was watching. They actually were feeling bad for him.
Yeah, I don't blame him. 14-5 or 14-3, Mets over the Braves.
And that's from a struggling team saying they feel bad.
I know.
That's how bad it was. All right, number 4, Giants over the Brewers, 3-0. Bottom of the 3rd, Luis Arias had an RBI single for his only hit of the game. Then in the bottom of the 4th, Grant McRae had a 2-run home run for his only hit of the game. Tyler Mahle, 6 innings, 3 Ks, 3 hits, 2 walks, and the win. He's now 3-9. Brandon Sproat, 6 innings, 5 Ks, 6 hits, 3 earned, 3 walks. He falls to 3-6. 9 hits in this game, 13 strikeouts. So kind of low on both ends.
Yeah, kind of. The Yankees beat the White Sox 9-5. Trailed early. Max Fried, I think, first time as a Yankee, giving up 3 runs in the first inning. How about that? He settled down after that. Yankees got 4 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th, 4 in the 8th. And they come away with victory. They spread the hitting around. Montgomery had 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Nobody else had more than 1 hit. Well, excuse me, that was for the White Sox. The Yankees. Rice had a home run. Dominguez had 2 hits. 2 hits and 2 RBIs for Chisholm. 3-run home run by Sanchez. I mean, it just goes on and on. The Yankees 9, the White Sox 5. No great pitching in this game.
Go ahead. Number 3, Blue Jays over the Nationals, 3-2. At the bottom of the second, Luis Garcia had an RBI double. He was 2 for 5. In the top of the third, Luis Urias had a solo home run. Ernie Clement had a RBI double. He was 1 for 5. Top of the fourth, Miles Straw had an RBI single. In the no, I didn't write the inning, but Andres Chaparro had a solo home run later in the game. He was 1 for 2. Very even across the board, 15 hits, 16 Ks, and the Blue Jays hold on for the 1-run victory.
I might add, Max Scherzer, 2 2/3 innings, and he threw 75 pitches.
You know what? I figured out what Max Scherzer's trying to do for the rest of his career. He's just going to try and pass Walter Johnson and be top 10, and then I think he'll walk away. I think he's more than happy with finishing top 10 in strikeouts.
Okay.
Because he only needs, I think, 7 more to pass him. So I think he might get that in the rest of his starts this year.
That's a lot of pitches in 2 2/3
Yeah.
of an inning. So
he's lost it, and it's sad because he was a damn good pitcher. In his prime.
You're right. Cubs beat the Cardinals. In that rivalry series, 7-3. Alex Bregman for the Cubs, 4 for 5. 2 RBIs in the game, hit his 11th home run. Nico Horner was 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs. Hit his 5th home run. That provided most of the offense for the Cubs. And they got an okay start from David Peterson. He went 5 2/3. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. He got the W. He's now 6-7 on the year. And not anything important to report about with the Cardinals. They just did not look good. 7-3 Cubs over the Cardinals.
Number 2, Pirates over the Diamondbacks, 3-2 in 10 innings. The Pirates were down 2-1 entering the 8th inning, and then Brian Reynolds had an RBI double for his first hit of the game, his only hit. And then at the bottom of the 10th, Brandon Lau with a walk-off RBI single. He was 3 for 5, and he had an RBI earlier in the game as well. 5 Pittsburgh pitchers had 8 Ks, 8 hits, and a walk, and 4 Arizona pitchers, 9 Ks, 9 hits, and a walk. Phil, this is kind of something I've started to do. If a pitcher doesn't reach 6 innings, I don't acknowledge them, because that, to me, that's not even a quality start.
You're right.
So
good point.
You get thrown in with the relievers.
All right. Well, then I'll do that here with Boston beating the Athletics 4-2, a 4-run 6th inning. Jack Perkins had a no-hitter going into the 6th for the Athletics. He ends up giving up going 5 2/3, 1 hit. But he walked 3, struck out 4, and the reliever that followed him didn't help any. Suarez, he gave up 2 hits and 2 runs as well. And Perkins ends up taking the loss. Peyton Tolley gets the win for the Red Sox. Former Shockers now 6-6, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, and 7 Ks. And one big blow, a grand slam by Rafaela of the Red Sox. 4-2 over the Athletics, the both Sox.
Yeah, that was expected. I had a couple of Red Sox fans that actually texted me and said, "You ready for this series?" I said, "What do I have to look forward to? You guys are going to sweep us." Just to rub it in a little bit more.
I got
and number 1 game of the night, the Marlins finally get a W after a 12-game slide. The Marlins were down 7-5 entering the bottom of the 9th inning. Roberto Hernandez had a 2 RBI single in a part of his 2 for 5, 3 RBI day. And Griffin Conine had a walk-off RBI single. He was 2 for 5 and had 2 RBIs as well. League leader Otto Lopez, 3 for 5 with an RBI. 3 other Marlins players had 2 hits. And Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto each had 2 RBIs. And the Marlins finally get back in the win column.
All right, final game I got. Houston scores 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning to defeat the Angels 6-4.
They did.
Yeah,
I
they
went to
did.
bed before that was over.
Yeah. Only 11 hits in this game and 18 strikeouts. Nothing really there to report of. Just 4 runs in the 9th by Houston. Mike Trout did not hit a solo home run. Sorry. Grissom was 3 for 5 for the Angels with 2 RBIs. Nobody had more than 1 hit for Houston, but they had them all in the 9th inning when it mattered. They win 6-4 over the Angels.
Here was the thing, too, is Yordan Alvarez came up to bat in the top of the 9th with runners on first and second, 2 outs. They walked him, and then the next guy comes up, and they hit him. That's when I stopped following. I said, you hit the batter, you bring the tying run home, you guys stink.
Well, they succeeded in doing that. All right, 1 hour in the books on Tuesday, the 28th of July. In the Zone returns after this time.
The NBC Baseball World Series is back, and your home for all the primetime games is right here on Wichita's sports station, KGSO. From the first pitch to the championship game, KGSO is your home for all your favorite Kansas teams and primetime games. Enjoy the best collegiate players from around the country as they gather for the annual NBC Baseball World Series. And it's right here on KGSO.
Brought to you by the Mark May Allstate Insurance Agency and Pride Egg Ace Hardware of Mays.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
When it comes to great barbecue in Wichita, one name stands above the rest: B&C Barbecue. For years, B&C Barbecue has been serving up mouth-watering smoked meats and hometown flavor that keeps customers coming back. But next time you're in, don't stop at the barbecue. Grab a menu and try their juicy pork chops, tender prime rib, delicious smash burgers, and so much more. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or catering for your next event, B&C Barbecue has something for everyone. Visit B&C Barbecue at 3rd and Washington and taste why Wichita keeps coming back for more.
Market information from the Mid-America Egg Network. I'm James Garrett. Moving through Tuesday, over in the corn market, September corn up 5.5 at $4.57 1/4. Kansas City wheat for September up 1.5 at $7.30 1/2. In the bean market, August beans up 3/4 cent at $12.09 1/4. Soybean meal for August up 20 cents at $3.21 even, and soybean oil for August down 61 cents at $70.85. In the cotton market, December cotton down 45 cents at $80.43. In the energies, crude oil for September down $1.55 at $81.06. Unleaded gas for August slightly up to $3.33. Heating oil for August up 4 cents at $4.15, and natural gas for September down 8 cents at $2.70. And over in the stocks, the Dow rises on strong earnings, but NASDAQ falls as chip sell-off continues, with the Dow Jones up 386 points at 52,596, the S&P 500 down 8 points at 7,404, and the NASDAQ down 232 points at 24,699. Market information from the Mid-America Egg Network.
Both the Kansas City Royals and the Wichita Wind Surge were off yesterday. It'll be the Kansas City Royals heading to Minnesota to play the Twins for a 3-game series starting tonight, 6:40 p.m. first pitch. And fittingly, the Wichita Wind Surge, who are the AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, will be playing the Springfield Cardinals starting at 7:05 p.m. tonight. That is going to be a 6-game road series starting tonight and concluding on Sunday. At Sports, I'm Andy Stantz.
Sports Report brought to you by Burwell Construction. Decks, pergolas, patio covers, roofing, siding, windows, guttering, and more. 316-794-3430 or online at burwellconstruction.com.
This is Wichita's sports station, K230PY, 93.9 FM, 1410 AM, and 99.7 HD3. KGSO, Belle Plaine, Wichita.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita.
You just tap in and leave it on.
This is In the Zone on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Get in the zone, get in the zone on KGSO.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of In the Zone on this Tuesday, the 28th of June. I'm Phil. James sits to my right. Good morning again, James.
Morning, Phil.
Okay. We're both away. Anything else you want to add on the TBT before we move on?
Sucks that they're not playing still.
Yeah, I agree.
It does feel a little off. Obviously, we were so used to last year, and we felt invincible. But I said it before the tournament started, and I'm going to touch on it again. But they really, really needed Sabande out there. Yeah. Now looking back on it, hindsight, it's like he really was the key player into our success last year, and we just didn't have that kind of a guy. And I know that the fights happened yesterday, and it took away the bench, and it was just a weird game from the start.
Right.
So I don't think either team really got into the complete flow. So it was just a scrappy fest, and I don't think we saw the best version of either team yesterday.
Especially with nobody on the bench.
So yeah. We applaud physicality and we like it. We don't like these guys to be soft, right? But at the same time, we can't be throwing haymakers out there.
Right. Well, I made this, while you were away, I made this assessment that the TBT, if they're going to continue, they're going to have to do something about what's going on with the officiating.
Now, okay, that's a fair point. But this, I'm going to bring this up.
Because this happens in every game.
When the NBA finds their refs, I'm sure they have a whole system to where they do lower level games, they get points, and then when they get enough experience points, then they become eligible to do NBA games or WNBA games, whatever it may be, right? I don't understand why the NBA doesn't have, and maybe they do and they just suck at it, but maybe they have like a little system where you are preparing, you want these refs to make it to your league someday, so I'm going to send you to these other games, and we're going to watch, and we're going to keep track, and we're going to, give you pointers after the game or whatever, coach you to where you can be able to do an NBA game. And I don't think that's how referees' systems work. I think they're all separate entities.
I think it does, and we've had John Blazek on the show.
Right.
And I think at the college level, yes, that they do. They grade officials. They have meetings with them. Everybody that's doing it, with the exception of me, because I couldn't do games in the playoffs because of baseball coaching. So once we got into late February, I was pretty much done with officiating. I might get a couple of early playoff games, but I couldn't get anything else past that because I couldn't work on the days that they were playing. So I understand officials are doing this because they want to move up. They want to get an opportunity to get to bigger and better games and everything that goes with it. But it wasn't just last night. It wasn't just the games with the enchantment. It's some of the tournament that I watched at different points that so many of these games just become so physical. Guys being knocked to the floor and no calls and phantom calls. Last night there had to be at least 10 calls. And I know because I've taught it, and I know what officials are supposed to do, what their responsibilities are. They don't change till you get maybe to the NBA as to what you're looking for and where you're supposed to be looking, especially with secondary defenders. But I saw so many foul calls last night by officials who are screened behind the play making the foul call. That's bad officiating. No doubt about it. And you got so many guys flopping. I mean, that happened, I would bet you, a dozen times last night where a guy just flops to the floor and he didn't even get touched. And, I don't know how you regulate that, but the fact that so many calls were missed and not called and things that happened during the course of the game led to how physical it was. And I don't know, just I've seen it. It doesn't matter what game I'm watching in the TBT, they're all the same way. And to me, that's not what you want to watch if you're just watching basketball.
Now, I don't know what the TBT is going to do for JHX for next round if those players are not going to be able to play, or we don't know. We don't know that for sure.
I guarantee you they're not going to do anything.
If they would do something in any other league for getting ejected like that, then that's something that
you might get suspended for an additional game or two or something like that. They're not going to do anything like that. They're not going to take away any opportunity. Here's what should have happened last night, truthfully. And I know why they did what they did. Every player left the bench for both teams in the first fight. Well, if you're going to eject the two combatants, which they did, Chalmers and Kelly, the rest of the game, by rule, should have been 4-on-4. Because everybody left the bench. And so what they did, basically, is they picked two guys from each team to leave the four that were on the floor during the fracas, picked two guys from each team to be left behind to play, and got rid of everybody else. And if you go by rule, it should have been 4-on-4 the rest of the way. Because if you leave the bench during a quote-quote fight, you're ejected. Well, they didn't follow that rule. And I know why, because it's a TV game and it's on Fox, and you got to have somebody left to play. You can't have 4-on-4 basketball. This isn't that crap that's on CBS that they have, that 3-on-3 league or whatever. What a pile of garbage that is. And they didn't do that. So how they chose who stayed behind and was allowed to play, I don't know. I have no idea how they looked at that and figured that out. I don't know if you watched or saw that or not, or in agreement or disagreement or whatever, but that's what I saw. And if they're going by the letter of the rule, it should have been 4-on-4 the rest of the way. Thoughts? Comments?
I think we're beating a dead horse, Phil.
Good.
That's
All
my
right.
thought.
Okay. You should have went for half of the game and left like you did last time. Yeah, that would have been
If
perfect.
I couldn't get a media spot on Friday, what makes you think I would have gotten one yesterday?
Good point.
With a crowd of 3,500, I couldn't get a media spot on Friday.
Well, you got there too late. You got to get there early and claim your spot.
So I could sit there and twiddle my thumbs for 30 minutes? No thanks.
All right.
If we have a credential, Phil, that means we should have a seat.
Should have a spot.
Should
I
have
agree.
a seat.
I agree. All right. You have today a pretty good game in the NBC. You have the 6 o'clock game, right?
Yep.
The Hayes Larks and the Alaska Gold Panthers. My former team. I played 2 summers up there. That should be a pretty good game this evening because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, both of those teams are unbeaten. Now, they're both going to be in the playoff, but you know what they're playing for is the first round bye and the fact that you don't have to use pitching for an extra day. So there were some teams that got eliminated yesterday. Well, at least one. The Oklahoma Lookouts were eliminated yesterday. And in games that took place yesterday, you had Junction City knocking off the Austin Gold Sox 9-1. TPA kept their hopes alive with 11-6 victory over Lone Star, who was previously unbeaten. Seattle beat Oklahoma Lookouts 9-5, and Hutch moved to 2-1 with a run rule victory over the Seattle Blackfins in the late game yesterday. So today's games include San Diego Stars and Texas Army at noon. The BTL Hornets and the Great Bend Batcats. Loser goes home in that game. At 3, James's game, feature game tonight, the Hayes Larks and Alaska Gold Panthers. And the night game is the Santa Barbara Foresters, who have yet to give up a run in this World Series. They will take on the Liberal BJs at 8:30 this evening. If you want to go, I got tickets. Just got to call me. I can hook you up with a couple. You don't have to go tonight. You can go anytime this week except Saturday. Championship game is downtown. It's not good for that one, but any other session, you can attend. But you got to call the show and ask for them at 316-522-1410. Have you done any research on your game yet for tonight, James?
No comment.
No comment. Okay, fair enough. Is this a solo shot tonight for you?
All of our broadcasts are solos until the championship.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck.
Well, thanks.
That's what I'll tell you. I'll probably be listening a little bit. I'll be in the car during that time frame just to listen to you.
Oh, okay.
So I can do that. So really tough to follow what's going on here today, except for the fact that teams that do not have a victory that are playing today, Texas Army's playing the San Diego Stars. They're also playing for a spot because both teams are winless thus far. The winner keeps playing, the loser goes home. The BTL Hornets have won a game. Great Bend has not. Great Bend has not scored in their 2 games thus far in this tournament.
Now, does that bug you?
They haven't scored?
Or not just specifically them, but a team just not showing up at all. Does that take you off as a team that didn't make it?
You kind of wonder. I mean, okay, I will say this. With the way the weather is right now, wood bats, the ball doesn't carry near as well at X Stadium as it used to. I think a lot of times players overswing trying to do something in this tournament. And Great Bend was, I think, led our league in runs scored this season. Now, they didn't have the best batting average. We had the best batting average. I think we were second in runs scored. But what's happened? You don't know. It's hard to figure out sometimes as to why guys all of a sudden who were hitting don't hit. And it's not just one guy, it's the entire team that this has happened to. So the loser of this game between BTL and Great Bend is done today, even though BTL has a victory. But we'll see. See how this all shakes out. Liberal is 1-1 as well. Now, I guess if Santa Barbara beats Liberal, all three teams would be 1-1. Liberal, Great Bend, and BTL. So that will be somewhat interesting as well, how they figure out who makes that one in head-to-head, because they all would have beaten each other. So, but one more day of pool play, and then bracket play begins tomorrow. The 4 winners of the pools will get byes to Thursday's games. The second and third place teams will match up against each other in different pools and play to move on tomorrow in a single elimination tournament. That's what's going on over at the NBC. Okay? Any other news that's out there, James, that you got for me?
I'm scrolling and
not finding.
A lot of dead happening.
Yeah. I don't know if we reported this yesterday or not, but the wife of Eric Bieniemy is in stable condition in a Virginia hospital. And the son, the younger of 2 sons of Eric Bieniemy and his wife, has been booked into jail for the alleged shooting of his mother. That's going to be interesting when all this comes about and comes out. So, and has all that. Have you seen any of the quote videos of Patrick Mahomes going through the non-padded workouts for quarterbacks? Have you seen any of that?
No,
I've had some of that pop up. People keep saying, "Look at his leg buckling when he tries to put pressure on it." And I'm thinking to myself, I don't see what you're looking at. But I got to believe we're basically 8 months from surgery time to where he is right now. And this is normally a 10 to 12 month recovery process.
I think medicine's catching up, Phil. I think we've started to figure out new ways to beat the normal ways of doing things. And
right.
I think that's why we're starting to see athletes come a lot sooner than what we're expecting. Jason Tatum being one of them.
Sure.
I know Halliburton's been out a lot longer than I think we would have liked it, but I mean, not every person's going to be the same. So I think we have gotten to a point where, serious injuries may not have these athletes sit out for as long as it once did. Our medicine's better. And if we're still having guys missing ample time in the same way that they were 20, 30 years ago, you guys aren't doing something right. You guys are supposed to be getting better. So am I surprised? No. I'm not surprised that Mahomes is out there doing his thing, seemingly with no issues. But Daniel Jones is the same thing. He's ready to go, and he got hurt, I think, kind of a little bit before Mahomes.
Yeah, a little bit.
But he's fine now, too.
But it was a different injury. It was Achilles,
Well, he
right?
had two different ones. It was his knee and his Achilles. And so, I mean, we were having concerns about if he was even going to be ready by week 1, and here
Right.
we are 6 weeks before the season. He's good to go. So I think, I think we just give these timelines, these timetables to just give us a rough estimate. But it's never obviously going to be exact. You just have to give a timetable, though, when somebody does get an injury, because that's what people want to know. It's, when can we expect him next? And so that's why I think they throw out that number. And then when it doesn't, if they come back earlier, if they come back way later, then, whoever reported that, then they'll catch some heat. But until then, I'm not surprised that athletes are coming back faster and they're looking stronger. I mean, I think that's kind of the whole point of modern medicine improving, is to prevent, catastrophic injuries and to make sure that our guys can be out there longer.
Jones was cleared to full practice. They start 11-on-11 drills tomorrow. So he still has some work to do to be prepared for week 1. He received the franchise tag and then re-signed with the Colts on a 2-year, $88 million contract that could be worth up to $100 million. What do you think of that? I know quarterbacks are getting more and more of the money these days. Is this guy a $50 million a year quarterback?
Who?
Daniel Jones.
I've said this before. Sometimes you have to pay because you want to avoid being in limbo. And that's why the Cowboys paid Dak as much as they did. And it was an overpay. We all knew it was the second that number got announced. But the Cowboys didn't want to figure out what life was like without Dak. And so that's why they pay him a little bit more. We know as a Colts fan, I know and we know what life is like without a starting quarterback. You look at the last 7 years, Phil, there's your answer. That's exactly what that looks like.
Sure.
And I'm tired of it. I'm getting frustrated. I just want some stability in my quarterback. I don't think that's such a big thing to ask for. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Just give me someone that I know can be there for a couple of years. That's all I want. He could be bad. Anthony Richardson was bad, and he still couldn't stay on the field. I was trying to make this point to my Colts friend yesterday because he wants Anthony Richardson out there. And I said, at what point did Anthony Richardson give you any sort of hope that he was going to turn his career around and improve? Nothing. At least with Daniel Jones, he gave us half a season.
Yes.
Gave us half a season. It was the best half season that I've watched in the last 8 years, maybe even 10 years, maybe since Andrew Luck walked away. That's how long it's been. So I think the Colts looked at that and go, look, those 8 games that you were completely healthy for was the best 8-game stretch that we've had since Andrew Luck left. So we're gonna take our chance with you, and we're gonna see if you can do it again. And if you can't, too bad, so sad. Everyone's gone. Coach, GM, quarterback, full reset. Go for Arch. I mean that, and you don't have a draft pick, so you're gonna have to trade someone. But that's kind of where they're at this point. So they paid him all that money because they're under the impression that with the right chips in place, he can do it again. And it's not affecting really anything else. It's not preventing us from going out and getting somebody. The right pieces are all there. It's about execution now.
Okay. Fair enough. 522-1410's phone number. I saw this pop up as well. I don't know your thoughts on this one. I think this is nuts, but it's the way of the world. Ohio State signs a deal with J.P. Morgan Chase to put a patch on the uniforms for $17 million a year. Ohio State is entering into a new corporate partnership with J.P. Morgan Chase that includes jersey patches for all 36 Buckeye teams. And J.P. Morgan Chase will pay Ohio State $17 million a year. Yeah. It'll be right above the Big Ten logo.
I don't understand why our country doesn't have more ground rules for stuff like this. Equity firms shouldn't be able to buy houses. Banks shouldn't be able to sponsor teams. And mega corporations need to stay out of sports. Like, those are the three things that would make sports immediately better. Immediately better. I don't want an equity firm owning my team. I don't want an equity firm having stake in my team. I want one guy that cares about winning, and I want him to lead my team. I don't want all these fancy terms, these fancy people in suits trying to make a profitable business even more of a profitable business, because that's what they do.
Right.
They go in and buy these expensive things, and then they even make that into a bigger profit because that's what they do. So what does that mean, Phil? Higher expenses for tickets. Parking is more. Jerseys are more. Drinks, food, all that entertainment stuff towards the team, that stuff goes up in price, and people are not understanding this. That's why I was in shambles when you told me that. Ohio State, things are going to be a lot different. Those season ticket holders that they've had for 40, 50, 60 years, they're not going to be one. They're
going to price some people out.
Yeah, they're
of
not
it.
going to want to be a part of this.
You know,
and for what? What does this do for Ohio State? It gives them $17 extra million that they can go and do whatever the hell they want with it.
Yeah.
We need a line. We need a line, and we need to draw it.
Well, it basically pays for their revenue share.
It pays for their whole NIL, for the entire athletic department.
That's what I'm saying with the revenue share.
We're supposed to be somewhat of an even playing field.
It's
and
never
it's not
going to be that.
It's not anymore.
No, it's not. And I hope sooner than later they figure this out, just to move the SEC and the Big Ten and whoever wants to go with them to a Super League, and let's all just move on. That's what I've got to say about it. 522-1410 is the number. Take a break. Come back. Your thoughts on any of this when we return.
This portion of In the Zone is brought to you by Kansas One Call. Call Kansas One Call at 811 before you dig.
Get in the zone, on KGSO.
The NBC Baseball World Series is back, and your home for all the primetime games is right here on Wichita's sports station, KGSO. From the first pitch to the championship game, KGSO is your home for all your favorite Kansas teams and primetime games. Enjoy the best collegiate players from around the country as they gather for the annual NBC Baseball World Series. And it's right here on KGSO.
Brought to you by Doc Greens, Auburn Spirits, and Taco Pronto.
Getting in the zone is easy when your crew's fed right. Bricktown Brewery in Wichita East and West has your next event covered with catering that brings the flavor. From Bricktown boxes that make lunchtime a win to crafted specialty entrees and full buffet bar setups, you can bring the taste of Bricktown straight to your office, team, or celebration. Bricktown Brewery Catering, available for pickup, delivery, or full service. Check out the full menu at bricktownbrewery.com/catering. Bricktown Brewery Catering, bring your appetite and we'll handle the rest.
Phil's Coins and Bullion, Kansas's premier bullion dealer.
If you want to add gold and silver bullion to your portfolio, there's no better place to go. Make sure to check out Phil's Coins online at philscoins.com, and with the largest variety of items, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. Phil's Coins and Bullion, 9344 West Central Avenue. Go check them out today.
Phil's Coins and Bullion, philscoins.com.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Hi, this is Brian Davis with Davis Liquor Outlet.
And this is Blake Davis with a deal on Bud Light 12-pack 16-ounce, just $13.99.
And for you wine lovers, 90-plus wines, 750 ml, only $9.99.
Davis Liquor Outlet.
Each store independently owned and operated.
Neighborhood locations with superstore pricing.
10 days, 35 games, 16 teams from across the country. All of it comes down to one night, Saturday, August 1st. Downtown Wichita, Equity Bank Park. Championship night presented by Kansas 811. Crowns the 92nd NBC World Series champion. The best amateur baseball players in America right here under the lights. And when it's over, Black Hills Energy and Victory Pyrotechnics light up the Wichita sky. This is what summers are made of. Tickets at NBCBaseball.com.
The 92nd NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Wichita's sports leader, KGSO, is brought to you by Devon Jaimes. Devon Jaimes Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
20 years old and still going strong. This is Wichita's home for sports talk. KGSO.
Oh, a little Stevie Ray Vaughan. Oh, the house, it is a rockin'. 522-1410 is a phone number. I can tell you one thing. J.P. Chase may be paying $17 million to Ohio State. But you don't have to pay $17 million to enjoy a quick lunch.
Taco Tico, it's all about the taste.
The 2 for $5 special right now, Taco Tico. Taco burger, beef sancho, combo burrito. Mix and match any two of those for $5. You could add a drink, maybe even a third item if you want. You buy for less than $10. It's a pretty good deal. You know, it's hard to believe that I say it used to be 20 years ago when this first started, it was less than $5. Not necessarily Taco Tico, but to find a good lunch. But now you got a chance. Hey, drink water. It's $5. The 2 for $5 special at Taco Tico. Combo burrito, beef sancho, taco burger, mix and match any of those. 2 locations in Wichita, 13th and North Tyler, 35th and North Rock Road. Also in Augusta, Derby, El Dorado, Newton, and Arc City. Put your favorite sauce on there and enjoy something quick, delicious, and fast at
Taco Tico, it's all about the taste.
I mentioned this, I got to bring this back up. $17 million a year from J.P. Morgan Chase. Now, first off, that just tells you how much money these people are making. You know, I used to get all these credit card things in the mail. I still get a bunch of them. But one of them that came like always once a week was Capital One. So you know what I did? I decided, what the heck? I'll give it a try, see if they want to give me a card. They did. And they gave me a $10,000 credit limit on it with no interest for a year. Now, what they're hoping is that you're going to charge up a whole bunch of stuff, forget about it, and then when the time comes, you won't be able to make the payment and they'll make their money back in interest. That's what happens to most people. Not this guy. So, I may charge it up, but I'm paying it off as I go. So that when the time comes, that final payment won't be thousands of dollars. It'll be hundreds. And I got to use their money free for a year. That's my money, but I didn't have to pay interest on getting a loan or something like that. But that's what all these investment and credit card banks and all this stuff they want you to do. The other thing that I've noticed is that I don't get near the number of Capital One credit card offers that I used to get. I still get one or two in my name once in a while. They still come in for my wife's name or in one of my daughter's names. They come to our house. Can you imagine what that has to cost to put those together and send them out to millions of people every week in some cases? And they still have $17 million to give to Ohio State? That's just crazy. I'm looking at it. They've got the Chase logo above the Big Ten logo on both the football and basketball uniforms, and on the sleeves of the softball and baseball uniforms, they have it there. You know, our major league clubs started doing it. Now, I don't think the NFL does. I could be wrong. For all I know, I don't remember if the NFL has any uniforms that have patches on the jerseys. I wouldn't think so. They probably have an NFL logo. They may have stuff on some of their practice gear, maybe. I don't know. But basketball's doing it. Baseball's doing it. I didn't pay close attention to hockey. Sometimes guys move too fast, you can't tell. But this is where the colleges are going to go. They got to come up with this money someplace. And the bad part is they're paying snot-nosed kids on some of this money that should set them up for life, and majority of them it won't. If I were an Ohio State player and I got money, I'd turn around and go to some other firm and invest it, not give it back to J.P. Morgan Chase. Give it to somebody else to invest it for me. That might make life a little bit interesting along the way. Today is the 28th of July. We are 1 month and 1 day away from the start of the college football season. Those guys are going to be in camps. And the opening game in Dublin, Ireland, of all places, will be the TCU Horned Frogs playing host to Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels. By the way, James, out there from Moneytown Pond, big North Carolina fan, are you going to Dublin, Ireland? Are you going to go over there for the game? Just curious. He's a guy that sits in on the show once in a while with Doug. I don't know if he's listening today or not, but I'd be curious to find out if he's going to Dublin, Ireland for the game. You'd have to make one heck of a trip out of it. You have to make a week-long trip out of it. See some sights. Go to the game. and then come home. So, I don't know. There are 8 games on the opening Saturday of college football. They no longer have week 0. It's all now week 1. It's 2 weeks worth of week 1, which also makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Who comes up with this stuff? Where do they think this is a good idea? Try to make us all believe. You either have a week 0 or you have a week 1 that has 8 games. Then you move to week 2. Nah, they're going to combine it all together. Make us believe that this is all in 1 week. There are actually teams that are playing 2 games in week 1. Yeah. Hard to believe, huh? Stanford's one of them. Both of them at home. USC's one of them. Both of them at home. And not only do they not get a week apart, they have only 6 days apart for each one of these. Kansas plays host to Long Island Ice-T to open their season. They should handle that pretty well. I forget who K-State opens up with. I'm sure it's going to be a night game. They get Nichols. Well, it used to be Nicholls State. Now it's just Nichols. They get them at 6 o'clock in Manhattan. So, not many great opening games on the first weekend. And that's usually the case. There's always a few. You know, we're going to get a Sunday matchup between Notre Dame and Wisconsin. Louisville and Ole Miss. And then a Monday night game with SMU and Florida State. It's actually a league game of all things. I think Clemson and LSU play in week 1, if I'm not mistaken. So there'll be some good games out there, but not many. But we're a month and a day away from the college football season starting. One segment left. Your phone calls are still welcome at 316-522-1410 when we return.
This portion of In the Zone is brought to you by Kansas One Call. Call Kansas One Call at 811 before you dig.
Get in the zone, on KGSO.
KGSO is back with the second annual SC Wichita Cares for Kids, coming up August 27th and 28th. Join Wichita's sports station as we support the Children's Miracle Network. Hear their powerful stories and help support our children in Wichita. It's the second annual SC Wichita Cares for Kids, August 27th and 28th. And it's brought to you by
Truck Stuff, Jewelry Savers, Davis Liquor Outlet, the Wichita Technical Institute, the Sugar Shack, and Wichita Sports Station KGSO.
Have you been to Taco Tico lately? It's time to go check them out. Taco Tico always has great daily specials. And now when you visit any Taco Tico location, you can pick 2 for just $5. Choose from a beef Sancho, combo burrito, or a taco burger. Pick any 2 for just $5 at any Taco Tico location. Make your next lunch or dinner plans at Taco Tico. Visit one of their 7 area locations, including 13th and Tyler and 35th and Rock Road in Wichita. Taco Tico. It's all about the taste.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like public works supervisor. Hey, this waterman is under a ton of pressure. Did you ever fix it?
Yeah, 3 layers of duct tape. Wait, should I have added a 4th layer?
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed-sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Right now, Rusty at Ford is making it easier than ever to save. Get 2.9% financing for 84 months, plus a $1,000 rebate on all 2026 F-150s. With dealer discounts and 2 years maintenance on us, now's the perfect time to drive home in a new truck. Looking for something else? We have 500 new and used vehicles to choose from. And don't forget, we'll give you up to $5,000 over KBB for your trade. Visit RustyAtFord.com. Simply the best place to buy. With approved credit, 2 years or 25,000 miles maintenance. See dealer for details. Raptor's not included.
What did you listen to today? This is Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
I bet you never heard old Marshall Dillon say, Miss Kitty, have you ever thought of running away? Settling down, would you marry me? If I ask you twice and beg you pretty please, she'd have said yes in a New York minute. They never tied a knot, his heart wasn't in it. He just stole a kiss as he rode away. He never hung his hat up at Kitty's place. I should have been a cowboy.
Little Toby Keith
I should have learned to roll around.
brings us back as we wrap up this Tuesday edition of In the Zone. It's the 28th of July. Where did this month go? As I mentioned earlier before you came back, James, a month and a day before the start of the college football season. Here we are.
Yep. Here we are.
Here we are.
And remember, I think it was the ending of last week, I tried to bring up a little thing about Eli Drinkwitz.
Right.
He is still talking smack about the state of Kansas. And
well, maybe KU just needs to, open up a can of whoop ass.
Let me see if I can find the direct quote from Eli Drinkwitz, because he has been doubling down, tripling down on all of his comments when he's talking about the state of Kansas. And one of them, he said something along the lines. One of these quotes was, in Kansas, if you lose your dog on a Monday, you walk out of the porch on Wednesday, you could still see him running. That's a good one. I like that.
Well,
that's clever.
But that's only in western Kansas. That's not in eastern Kansas. So he obviously hasn't been in Kansas. So, and I don't know if that's the case here in Wichita. But in western Kansas, I might agree with him.
And then there was another quote. He said, if you see a pretty girl in Kansas, she's a tourist.
Ooh. Now, I take uppance with that.
Well, those were his
I married
words.
a Kansas girl.
Yeah, he said if you see an attractive girl in Kansas, she's just a tourist. She's not from there.
Well,
he's just trying to set the ground for the rivalry, and I think I'm here for it. He's not saying things I think that are over the top by any means, but
yeah, he is.
put a little target on his back for this.
So in week 2,
Missouri KU game.
This Missouri KU game, I believe, is a night game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm double checking that. If it's not a night game, it should be. But either way.
And then he goes, "What's the best thing that comes out of the state of Kansas?"
Here we go.
The I-70.
Okay. All right. It's a 7:00 game on Fox on Saturday night. Missouri at Kansas. Think that'll be a sellout?
Probably.
Yeah.
He's the second longest tenured coach in the SEC.
Really?
Other than Kirby?
7 years he's been there?
Wow.
Is that right? 7?
Sounds about right.
I figured you had everything up on this guy and with all the quotes you're finding.
Yeah, he is second.
Second, but how many years?
Seven.
Seven,
He's entering
yeah.
his seventh, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of what I just off the top of my head.
Heupel, Beamer, Sark, and Clark Lee are all entering their 6th season.
Okay.
Kirby's entering his 11th.
Okay. Venables is entering his 5th.
I don't have the extended list.
Okay. Well, I can double check that one.
Yeah, life comes at you fast, though, in the SEC.
Yeah. Which conference is better? The SEC or the Big Ten?
I think top heavy, it's got to be Big Ten. Overall, it's got to be the SEC.
Right.
Because you could take the worst team in the SEC, which, who was that last year? Mississippi State?
Maybe, they were probably the worst, yeah.
There's probably someone else in there, but
South Carolina wasn't very good last year.
And they had a good team last year.
South Carolina?
Yeah,
I know they did.
I thought they had a good team last year.
Well, they touted that quarterback to no end, and he really scuffled.
I was
back,
gonna say,
though.
I'm surprised he stuck around. He stayed around. Like, he was a high priority player in the portal, and he wanted to finish what he started. So I'll applaud him for that. He could have gone anywhere in the country and been the starter.
Sellers is who you're talking about.
He could have started for Alabama this year.
Probably.
The worst team last year was Arkansas. 2-10. They did not win a conference game.
Are they going to be better?
Arkansas.
I'll have to ask my father-in-law. He's a big Arkansas
would
fan.
beat the snot out of Purdue.
Oh, yeah.
They would beat them by 40. So I think the overall SEC is a little bit better, but I think the top teams, like if we're going 4 deep, I think the Big Ten gets the edge.
Yeah, I kind of can't argue with that, I don't believe. If you're looking at last season with all this, in the Big Ten, Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, USC, Michigan was 9-4, as was Iowa. So they had 6 teams ranked in the top 25, top 21.
And this is with a down year from Penn State, because they're usually ranked 2.
Yeah. And they went south quick. They still finished over 500.
No, the bowl
with
win.
the bowl win. You go down to the SEC, and you had 7 teams ranked in the top 15. So, yeah, I think you're right on the top-heavy side of things.
You know, this could also be used as a different discussion, but I feel like if we're going to start going towards this movement of bigger conferences, I mean, we're already there. We're already here. So why don't we – because there are teams in these big conferences that in my lifetime, Phil, have never been good.
I know.
And I'll name them. Northwestern, they've never been good.
Oh, well,
in my lifetime, in my conscious lifetime.
It's been a while.
The last
You're
25
right.
years, Northwestern hasn't been anything
You're
since
right.
2000. Maryland, maybe they had 1 year. Purdue obviously has never been good. Wisconsin had a couple of years, I would say, in the 2000s that they were good. Nebraska, again, nothing in the last 20 years.
Nebraska's been a non-factor since they left the Big 12. They moved to the Big Ten, and they've become a non-factor in football.
But then we can keep going up. I know Washington made the playoff. They've had some recent, but that was a different conference.
Yes.
Minnesota and Illinois, those 2 teams have never been anything special in my life. And then it's been a while for USC. They're slowly coming back. But there's a good amount of teams in the Big Ten that have absolutely never done anything. So rather than rewarding these teams, and I know it's more than just one sport, like, you know, maybe they're good in basketball or they're good in baseball or whatever, so it kind of evens it out. But if we're going to start going towards these big conferences, we need to start treating them as such. It is an honor to be in this. And if you suck for 20 years and you've never come close to even appearing in a conference championship, you got to leave. And I understand that's hard to police that with
Where
multiple
do
sports.
we put them?
A relegation. You go down to the next one. Because obviously, geographics don't matter anymore.
No, that's true.
Nobody cares how far they have to travel. So why even centralize these teams? We're already going from the Pacific to the Atlantic.
Do you miss that? Teams being
a little bit
geographically
I
located.
do miss it a little bit.
I miss it a lot. To say that. But you're with 18 teams in the Big Ten.
You're never going to accomplish anything.
Somebody has to finish last. Is it ever going to be Ohio State or Oregon or Michigan or USC or Iowa? No, it's never going to be that.
Well,
Indiana's
I
been
think
there.
Iowa may have a chance.
But Indiana used to be at the bottom of the heap.
Mm-hmm.
And look what happened. They made the right coaching hire. They invested some money. And lo and behold, here we are. James, your final thoughts yesterday got rained out.
Yep.
So what do you got for us today?
Well, if he's on the mound again today, if they just pushed him back, which they did, at 12:40 today, Chase
There
Burns
it is.
back on the bump. I'm going to just stick with it.
Okay.
Give me the money line, minus 170.
Do you want to go on a doubleheader swing today?
Nope, just the first game.
All right. That's it for us. The Herd is next, followed by Stugotz at 2 and the Press Box Boys at 4 o'clock. James will have the 6 o'clock game tonight at the NBC between Hayes and the Alaska Gold Panthers. For James, I'm Phil. Have a great day, Wichita. See ya.
This is Stu Gotts and Company live.
The audience wants this.
You're listening to Stu Gotts and Company live.
The New York Yankees. They have now had